Picture this, you're an ambitious young man or woman with a lot of potential, and you know it as well. You're good at pretty much anything you put your mind to, and so you're sure that when you finally find your thing, you'll be world class at it. Lots of things capture your interest though. I mean, music, finance, business, writing, fitness. But none of them really feel like you, so you hold back. You pull your punches. I mean, you dip your toes into 100 different pools, but you're fully dressed in your regular clothes. You have no intention of diving into any one of them. Not yet, at least. You got a whole ankle into entrepreneurship at one point, but realized that the water gets colder as your foot gets deeper, and so you thought you'd wait it out. Wait till you find a pool that you're more sure about, and so you keep walking. You walk for years in search of your pool, and after a few years have gone by and you haven't fully jumped into any one of them yet, you look behind you and you see a pool party happening. It's all the kids that you grew up with. They're all singing and dancing. They look so happy. But those kids were screw-ups in school, remember? Rule breakers. How could they be doing better than you? Just luck, you say, and you keep walking. You tell yourself that you're diligent. That's why you haven't dived headfirst into any one thing. And then it happens. You find your pool, your thing. It feels like a dream at first. I mean, you fantasized about it for years, but you're still not wearing your swimsuit. And somebody who is wearing theirs takes your spot before you can put your hand up and say me. Why the fuck was I not ready to jump in, you ask yourself. I've been waiting for years and I wasn't ready? And then it hits you. You weren't being diligent. You didn't even have high standards. You just didn't want to get wet. See, courage is in far shorter supply than genius or talent. And when you let one pool get you wet, you destroy the dryness that represented the infinite potential of all pools in which you could possibly swim. It takes courage to destroy potential like that. Because to become who you are, you have to pay a price. Becoming who you will be costs you everything that you could be. And that's a trade that lots of people don't have the nerve to make. Why? Well, because when you're nothing, you could become anything. And the thought of that is cathartic. It's a topical painkiller applied to the open wound of insufficiency. Not just this, but when it's only potential, you don't know how much of it there is. You can convince yourself you're the next Elvis pretty easily when you've never released a song. But as soon as you do release one, you commit to finding out whether or not reality will match your expectations, whether the world will agree with the identity that you've conjured for yourself. And that is terrifying. Courage is in far shorter supply than genius. So maybe the kids that you saw who are having a pool party today aren't where they are because of luck, or genius, or talent, but because of courage. Courage that you don't have. And there are very few pills harder to swallow than that right there. Actuality is the opposite of potential. But all high potential youths must come to actualize themselves at some point in their life, lest they turn into adult-sized children. Not even that, they must be prepared to actualize themselves, to commit to something. They must be wearing their swim trunks. Otherwise, not only will they likely not even recognize their pool when it's right in front of their face, but even if they do, somebody more prepared will do a cannonball before they've even finished conducting their risk-reward analysis of the water. In an age of eyeballs, personal brands, and digitized reputations, it has become increasingly scary to let something define us, because it feels like every box by which we could be defined is made of steel bars. It's not. The only prison that you're in is made of your own thoughts. And the biggest risk of the pools is not that you might drown in a pool of your own poor decision making. The biggest risk of the pools is never getting in one. Between the 80s and 90s movies that made a devil out of the office job, and the internet of the 2000s that took that depiction and ran with it, everybody is terrified of the 9 to 5. But the reality is that the 9 to 5 is where most people are best suited to be. An entire generation of people raised by single mothers and preoccupied parents have become terrified of average. We're scared that unless we become movie stars or influencers, we'll never find the attention that we lacked in childhood. And so, as a culture, we've fostered a kind of delusional immune response. The demonization of normal, or average. Millions of young people routinely saying no to genuinely great opportunities just because they can't see how it would directly lead to their fame and fortune. And the problem with that isn't that they're failing to avoid being average. It's that they're succeeding. Except instead of exceeding the average, they're falling far short. Don't kill the person that you will be for all the people that you could be. If a pool looks pretty decent, don't think, jump. Trust me, the water's fine.
Are you feeling nervous? Are you having fun? It It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this, look in my eye. Don't be scared, don't be shy. Come on in, the water's fine. We're going to go